Welcome to the MOZ podcast. I want you to sit back, relax, maybe grab a coffee or a drink because today we're going on a journey. And when I say a journey, I don't just mean scrolling through tweets or replaying viral videos. I mean we're going to dig deep into one of the most notorious and ongoing celebrity feuds in modern music history. Yes, we're talking about Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. Now, if you've been on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or basically anywhere online over the past couple of weeks, you've probably seen their names trending again. Another round of posts, subtweets, memes, and headlines. And you might be asking yourself, why is this still going on? Why do two of the most successful women in hip-hop keep finding themselves at odds? And what does it say about the culture we're all part of? That's what we're here to unpack. Over the next hour or so, we're going to trace the feud from its beginnings back in the mid-2010s through the explosive 2018 Fashion Week incident, right up to the most recent online war in September 2025. Along the way, we'll look at how the media played a role, how fans on both sides became warriors in a digital battlefield, and we'll even pull some lessons from history, philosophy, and psychology. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about celebrity gossip. It's about human behavior, ego, conflict, and the way social media amplifies everything. It's hard to pin down the exact start, but most fans point back to 2017. Cardi B was on her way up. She had gone from reality TV on Love and Hip Hop, New York, to becoming a serious player in the rap game. Her breakout single, Bodak Yellow, dropped in June 2017 and took off like wildfire. By September, it hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Cardi the first female rapper to top the chart with a solo track since Lauryn Hill in 1998. That was a huge cultural moment. Meanwhile, Nicki Minaj had already been reigning supreme for nearly a decade. Hits like Super Bass, Anaconda, and Starships made her a household name. She had multiple platinum albums, endorsements, and was widely regarded as the queen of rap. For years, she dominated the space with little competition from other female rappers at her level. So when Cardi blew up, comparisons were inevitable. Fans began asking, is Cardi the new Nicki? Is Nicki's reign over? That narrative, mostly created by the media and fan speculation, planted the seeds of rivalry. And then came the infamous social media moment. In late 2017, people noticed that Nicki had apparently liked a tweet dismissing Cardi's rap skills. Now, whether Nicki actually did, or whether it was fabricated or misinterpreted, is still debated. But perception matters more than reality in celebrity culture. Fans took it as shade, and suddenly the story of Nicki versus Cardi had its first spark. Fashion Week 2018, the shoe heard around the world. Fast forward a year, September 7th, 2018. Harper's Bazaar icon party during New York Fashion Week. What happened that night became the defining moment of the feud. According to Business Insider and The Guardian, Cardi confronted Nicki at the event. Tension boiled over, words were exchanged, and in the chaos, Cardi allegedly threw a shoe at Nicki. Photos circulated of Cardi being escorted out with a visible bump on her forehead, reportedly from security. The media went crazy. Vanity Fair wrote about it. The Guardian published timelines. TMZ replayed clips again and again. Suddenly, this wasn't just internet gossip. It was a real-world altercation between two of the biggest women in rap at one of the most high-profile fashion events in the world. And that incident locked the feud into pop culture. Cardi later explained her actions on Instagram, writing, "I've let a lot of shit slide. I let you sneak diss me. I let you lie on me. I let you stop my bags. But when you mention my child, you choose to like comments about me as a mother, make comments about my abilities to take care of my daughter. All bets are off." Nicki, on the other hand, went on her radio show, Queen Radio, and denied attacking Cardi's parenting, claiming, "I would never talk about anyone's child or parenting." It's so crazy to me that people always need to make Nicki the bad guy. So you had two competing narratives. Cardi saying it was about family and respect, Nicki saying it was about being unfairly villainized. Fans split down the middle. And the feud that might have fizzled out became legendary. Years of simmering tension. After Fashion Week, the feud never fully ended. It just simmered. Both artists threw subtle disses in songs. Fans read meaning into every lyric. Interviews would spark new rounds of speculation. And while there were brief moments of calm, even times when they both claimed to want to move on, the rivalry never disappeared. In fact, what kept it alive wasn't just the artists, it was the fans. The Barbs, Nicki's fiercely loyal fan base, and the Barty Gang, Cardi's equally passionate supporters. Online, these groups clashed constantly. Twitter wars, memes, Instagram trolling, it became a digital battleground. And here's something interesting. Studies in media psychology talk about parasocial relationships, the idea that fans feel a personal connection to celebrities. So when Cardi or Nicki made a move, their fans took it personally. Defending their favorite wasn't just about music, it was about identity. That made the feud much bigger than the two women themselves. September 2025, the feud reignites. Now let's come to the present, September 2025. Cardi drops her new album, Am I the Drama? It's a big release with massive hype, and almost immediately, Nicki posts a cryptic tweet, $4.99 and sour. That's it. 2 numbers, 1 symbol. Fans instantly interpreted it as shade, a dig at Cardi's album being discounted or underperforming. From there, it snowballed. Nicki shared memes, mocked lyrics, and even joked about sales figures. Cardi fired back, telling Nicki to compare herself to her peers, not younger artists. She defended her achievements, saying her success was earned and that Nicki's obsession was unhealthy. At one point, Cardi posted, "Lord protect my babies." That line hit hard because it suggested the feud was taking a toll on her family and her peace of mind. Entertainment Weekly covered the back and forth, highlighting deleted tweets and heated fan reactions. Page 6 described it as an explosive social media war. The Economic Times wrote that it was one of the fiercest online showdowns in their history of conflict. And of course, the memes, AI-generated images, and TikToks just poured gasoline on the fire. It was like 2018 all over again, but amplified by the technology and platforms of 2025. Let's slow down and really unpack this most recent chapter, because the September 2025 flare-up isn't just another round of shade, it's bigger than that. It shows how feuds evolve in the digital age, how small gestures can trigger global storms, and how two artists can be locked in a cycle that neither fully controls. So let's break it down. Cardi B dropped her album Am I the Drama on September 25th, 2025. The rollout was huge. Teaser trailers, TikTok snippets, fan countdowns, Atlantic Records really went all in. Within hours of release, social media was buzzing, but then Nicki Minaj made her move. She tweeted just 3 characters, $4.99 and sour. Now, on its own, that doesn't sound like much, but in the world of celebrity feuds, context is everything. Fans interpreted it as a dig, implying Cardi's team had discounted her album to boost sales or that her work wasn't worth full price. Immediately, the Barb's Nicki's fanbase swarmed Twitter with memes. Some mocked Cardi's sales projections, others compared her numbers to Nicki's past releases. At the same time, the Barty Gang, Cardi's loyalists, struck back, arguing that Cardi had built her career on authenticity, personality, and connection with fans, not just numbers. Entertainment Weekly reported that Nicki later deleted the tweet, but by then screenshots had spread everywhere. Page 6 described the moment as a spark that lit the gasoline of years of bad blood. And honestly, they were right. Because that's when things escalated. Nicki didn't stop with the $4.99. She liked tweets shading Cardi's flow. She posted cryptic Instagram stories with clown emojis, which fans immediately linked to Cardi. She even dropped a subtle line during an IG Live freestyle, rapping, "Discount queens could never step to the throne." Whether or not she meant Cardi, fans were convinced. Cardi, for her part, didn't stay silent. She tweeted back, "If you gon' compare yourself to your peers, not girls half your age. Numbers don't define legacy, consistency does." That line got hundreds of thousands of likes and set off a new wave of think pieces about generational divides in hip-hop. And then came the emotional moment. Cardi tweeting, "Lord protect my babies." That wasn't about sales, streams, or charts. That was about her peace of mind. About how this feud, after years of ups and downs, was starting to feel toxic beyond the music industry. Now here's the human side of it. These are not just rap queens or tabloid figures, they're mothers. Nicki has a son, Cardi has 2 kids. When you think about it through that lens, the feud stops being funny memes and starts being a reminder of how fame can put pressure on family life. But the internet rarely slows down to think about that. Within hours of Cardi's tweet, AI-generated memes popped up on TikTok showing cartoon versions of Nicki and Cardi fighting in WWE rings. One clip of Nicki's $4.99 tweet set to the Mortal Kombat soundtrack racked up over 2 million views in a day. The fight wasn't just happening between 2 women, it was happening across platforms, with millions of fans acting as soldiers in a war neither side could completely stop. The psychology of online feuds. And here's where we need to pause and zoom out. What we're seeing isn't just celebrity beef. It's a textbook case of what psychologists call amplification through parasocial rivalry. Fans don't just support their favorite artists, they identify with them. Nicki's Barbs see her as the trailblazer, the queen who fought to open doors for women in hip-hop. Cardi's Barty gang sees her as the underdog, who rose from reality TV to global superstardom through grit and personality. So when one side feels attacked, fans take it personally. They fight as if they themselves were insulted. That's why the feud doesn't end when the artists stop tweeting. It lingers, festers, and grows on its own. Sociologists also point out that we live in a click-driven media economy. Outlets like Page Six, Hot New Hip Hop, The Shade Room, and even Billboard thrive on conflict because conflict drives traffic. A tweet about a new song might get shared a few hundred times. A tweet about a feud, that goes viral. And so the feud keeps being fed again and again. In fact, if you look at the headlines around September 27, 2025, almost every major outlet framed the story not as Cardi B drops new album, but as Cardi B and Nicki reignite feud. That tells you everything you need to know about what sells. So let's step back and ask, what can we learn from all this? For Nicki and Cardi, the advice is simple but not easy. Pause before posting. Once you hit send, the internet owns it. Resolve conflicts privately. Not every fight needs to be broadcast. Don't weaponize personal struggles. Family, fertility, or legal issues should be off limits. Focus on the art. Music, creativity, and legacy will outlast any feud. And for us, the fans, the audience, the media consumers, we also have a role. Are we feeding into the spectacle when we retweet, meme, or screenshot? Do we encourage cruelty when we cheer on online humiliation? Or can we be the ones to demand better, more uplifting narratives from the artists we admire? Celebrity feuds like this one aren't just gossip. They're a reflection of our culture, how fame works, how social media changes human behavior, and how conflicts can spiral when millions of eyes are watching. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are both immensely talented women who changed the face of modern rap. They deserve to be remembered for their artistry, not their animosity. So to both artists, if this podcast ever reaches you, your voices are powerful, your influence is global, and your legacy is too important to be defined by conflict. The world needs your music more than your beef. Thank you for listening to the MOZ podcast. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Cardi B and Nicki Minaj feud, subscribe for more breakdowns of global trending news, celebrity stories, and cultural commentary. And remember, conflicts fade, but legacies last.